my god. Oh my god. I'm dog sledding. Okay. I think this is tangled. Oh shit. Oh my god. Welcome to Crossing It Off, the show where we're completing 50 travel bucket list experiences because the world is big and life is short.
We're your hosts, Tim and Finn, and today we're crossing off dog sledding in Finland. This episode is sponsored by you. Thank you to the thousands of you who've supported this channel through a purchase of trip travel gear. Whether you're packing for the weekend or you're on a one-way ticket, thanks for taking trips.
As you may be able to tell from the title, we've got a bit of a controversial topic to talk about in this video. We didn't quite realize what video we were filming as we started off on this trip, but as a channel that bills itself as showing the reality of travel, this couldn't go untold. If you're new here, we call ourselves not influencers, just from the nature of the business model. We just film our own vacations and put them on YouTube, and are able to travel so much because we own our own business. One of the byproducts of that, and what we think makes us unique, is that while we don't want to have negative experiences on our vacations, when we do, we can still share it with you. Stick around as we journey 250 kilometers north of the Arctic Circle for a Nordic adventure through the popular tourist region of Lapland. Lapland is a region that spans across Sweden, Finland, Norway, and parts of Russia, and has about the same number of reindeer as people. It's also one of the best locations in the world to see the Northern Lights. Welcome to beautiful Finland. And if you've been following us on Instagram, yes, we're fully aware and embracing the pun. Finland. Tim was awesome enough to plan most of dog sledding. What am I in for today?
You know, I can't even remember what came first, whether it was Finland or dog sledding. First off, if you're interested in going dog sledding, book months ahead of time, because we did it about 1 month ahead of time and almost everything was booked up. We tried to do it overnight. Might as well drag it out and make it the biggest experience possible. Those were booked months back. They kind of laughed at me on the phone. What can you expect dog sledding today is the musher's dream. We're going to do about 5 or 6 hours. I think it's anywhere from 50 to 70 kilometers, but we got a lot of pow-pow last night, so that's up to how far the huskies want to run.
And then I'm assuming there's like different experiences, like short, long, like driving, not driving.
Yeah, you can ride in the sled, like depending what place you call. You can go out for an hour. You can sip hot cocoa. They have some of these places intenso. It's like 3-night overnight. I think you're like a certified huskyman afterwards.
So we're kind of like middle of the road tour. We're learning to drive them ourselves, yeah?
We absolutely are. We each have our own sled today, too. What do you think about that?
What I think about that is that that's going to be one of the most fun, like, real-life experiences, but that's probably the hardest combination of trying to film this.
I don't think people expect good filming from us anyway, so...
We're going to have the learning curve of, like, figuring out how to do this, not freezing, and, our own film crew.
Filming looks tough. I don't know, guys. It looks the same as it always does for me.
This might be GoPro helmet cam version of... I'm assuming we need both of our hands for driving 6 dogs.
We might go pro right away. Just like, find you have a knack for it. The dogs are probably doing 99% of where we're going. We're just back there.
We're like just holding on. Yeah. All right. It is time.
I'm sure they'll hit it with the plow this morning. This is fine.
Okay. Another reason we picked this spot is they're one of the places up here that have an ethics page. Once you're using animals in tourism, there's a really fine line. But this had a whole ethics page on their website, so I'm excited to kind of like see about that. Also, knowing dogs more than knowing like humpback whales or something. Like, I know that Pepper would be stoked to like do this herself if she physically could. So I'm excited to see some excited dogs that are just happy to, you know, go out on a run.
Imagine a husky sled pulled by
peppers.
40 peppers. And that's the cutest thing I can think of possibly existing.
Of course, we're going to be missing her all day.
You just put
today.
a little frisbee on a stick in front of all of them, and they'd bark through the road.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like, I think that they're going to be stoked.
Yeah, I hope so.
As always on this channel, you can expect the reality. If it's no good, we'll let you know.
I think they're ready.
Well, that's piercing. You couldn't sleep here.
Maybe they're quiet all night. Oh my goodness. Hi guys. Hi. No, you're too cute to pull anything. You're too cute to pull anything. Okay, you can pull my sled. I don't even care if you do a good job. Yeah, you're adorable. You're good dogs. Good dogs.
Oh, it's morning stretch. Hi, yes. Yes, good morning. Oh, yes, I miss you. Hi, you're so good. Did you kiss morning kisses? Hi.
Oh, the tough one.
Woof.
I'm the tough one.
Really? They're not cold?
No.
You boof.
Do they look cold? They love it.
Oh, yes, you can sleep in my bed. That's totally fine.
So Allison will be staying here.
Well, I'm getting my money's worth. Hi. Yeah, 41 or 42 would be perfect.
For you?
12.
This looks warm. This is great. Inner glove, outer glove, balaclava. I have a built-in balaclava in my hood of one of my several sweatshirts. We've got wool layers. I think we're ready to go.
This is gonna be so awesome.
Having no idea what to expect, we showed up to the noisy pen area and, of course, so excited to see the dogs. We were greeted by a bad boy who had gotten off the leash and was being called back. Our host caught him and handed him to one of the guides, who lifted him off the ground by the back of his neck, beating him over the head. With this many dogs, it's important to keep them in line, she leaned over and told us before heading back to tend to guests at breakfast. Alone in the pen now, we watched guides strap up dogs while we prepared our cameras and warm layers.
When you need to slow down a little bit, put one leg on the soft.
Okay.
When you need to slow down more, 2 legs on the soft, or 1 leg on the hard.
Okay.
When you need to stop, stand, both legs on the hard brake.
Okay.
With nothing but a brief tutorial on how to brake, we were each placed on a sled, our leader took off in front, and we just assumed to follow. I think I'm going. Okay, I'm going. I'm dog sledding. Okay. The heavy snow from the previous day's storm quickly began to pile up on our sleds. The dogs leapt over a meter-tall mound of snow built up from the road's snowplow, and when my sled hit and tipped sideways, I quickly jumped off to protect myself. Oh my God! Okay. Okay. We're running. Okay. Chaotic. Okay. What the hell? Okay. Watch. Chris.
If you don't do it,
I was trying to get all the snow off. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Hey!
Off the street and into the next snowbank to approach the trail, I worked on clearing the snow while the jumping dogs tangled in each other's lines.
I think I'm tangled. I think this is tangled. Oh, shit. Oh my God, shit. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay.
The support man drove up to my sled again to untangle the team, beating the most enthusiastic of the barking dogs while he completed his work.
This is not going well for me. Okay. You're okay. You're okay.
This was the most adrenaline-filled first 15 minutes of any activity I've ever done anywhere in the world.
We just take it a bit slow from here.
Okay.
And then we'll see if the front leader dog is
Okay.
So just
So,
give you a sign.
okay. Thank you. Okay. Oh my God. Oh, now you guys are fine. I see. Were we excited? Are we panicked? Okay, we're coming to a hill. Let's slow down on the hill because you guys are freaking chaotic. Okay, how's that? Yeah?
Are we good? Probably. All right. Thanks, mate.
Without complicated maneuvers on and off the road, it was fairly straightforward navigating the sled and the brake and leaning into the turns.
Is this what I expected so far? Maybe. I don't know. Wow, you are very much in control of your own destiny out here. Okay.
This is the coolest thing ever right now. Now that we're away from the kennel, it's just quiet, the dogs are working, and we're finally getting into this. That was a little bit of a rough start, but this is awesome. You can tell how much they just want to go. Pepper, the snow would be a little bit too deep for you, sweetie. Oh, turn, 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 turn. This is just something I never honestly thought I'd be doing, even when we signed up for it a month ago. Well, we did it. We found an activity more challenging than riding motorcycles through Vietnam to film during. It's gonna hurt a little less if you fall off the sledge though.
Hi, it's me. A little less chaotic now, thank God. Made it through the first. I've been recording for 15 minutes. That's only 15 minutes. I felt like a lifetime. Here at sunrise at 10:30 in the morning.
I don't know if I caught it while we were getting instructions this morning on video, but when we just got up a tall hill. When you're going up the hills with the dogs, you're kind of kicking the brake forward and helping push. I'm part of the team finally, but make no mistake, these dogs are doing 99%. Sorry, boys.
How you doing, Tim? Hey. So it must be like noon or 11, right?
11, yeah.
Like this must be as bright as it gets. After the first hour, this isn't chaotic anymore. The dogs are in their groove, we're in there. Man, I can't get the GoPro to stay on for more than a couple seconds. Things are really calm and beautiful now. That was all I'm trying to say.
In a seldom seen move in the husky world, my team has decided that Finny's team is way too slow and they can't possibly deal with her being in front anymore. How does it feel to be number 3?
This is good. We could get you camera angles.
Oh, it was for the footy.
Good doggies. Yes, good.
Oh, that's good.
I've been sent ahead to look for traffic on the road, and we're okay. And here go the dogs. I'm so thirsty for my next trick. I'm gonna perform getting a water bottle out of my trip travel gear backpack while driving a dog sled and filming. This took longer than the GoPro battery, but I was successful. Cheers.
This is my favorite one. Good dog. Yeah, that's the camera. Yeah, good dog.
The first few hours of the day, I really tried to put the morning behind me, and I did. I was flustered. It was so loud. I was covered head to toe in 30 extra pounds to stay warm. I had GoPros clipped to me. I was cruising at 15 miles an hour. Was I just overwhelmed? Because the dogs are happy, right? They're running well, navigating the terrain, and stopping on cue. After about 3 hours, I couldn't believe we hadn't stopped to rest the dogs right as we pulled up to a Finnish Laavu, or teepee.
I'm gonna go say hi to my doggies.
Do you want to go say hi?
I'm kind of sad
Why?
because I just think they're cold.
Then look how much fun they're having.
They want to go because they're freezing.
Someone's got to tell them they did a good job.
They know they did a good job.
The guy's paw is cold. Are we going inside or something?
Yeah.
Okay, we are going in here now.
Little break.
We sat inside and met other riders with other guides as soup and warm drinks were prepared. At lunch, having an introverted day, I opted to spend my time with the dogs. I hadn't actually met any of the dogs on my sled yet, so I slowly approached two that were shaking and curled up together. The second pulled back its ears and lowered its head as I sat, but I held out the back of my hand for the first. He allowed me to stroke his head, and I sat looking around at all the dogs from all the sleds. Many were shaking, some holding up back paws off the ground. And to be fair, some were just sleeping fine or looking around. But now sitting there with a closer look, these metal wire harnesses that had caused so much tanglement at the beginning of the day seemed cold and coarse. As the guide came out, I pointed out injuries, like a bloody ear. Tim let them know about a bloody paw they promised to wrap before we took off again. I did my best to ask, what's next, to our guide. It's up to us, he said. We've booked another 3 hours. A quick look to each other, and Tim suggested it would be getting dark soon, and we could just head back. The dogs saw the rest of the group exit the tent, and they knew it was time to hit the road again.
Like, I just feel like this is dangerous for the dogs, and like, yeah, they're screwed up, and And like what, I can't stop because when you stop, like I can't walk up there. Yeah, they're like messed up. Review this out when we were in the car later or something. This is just not for me. Anything that involves animals, it just like never, it's just like not right. I guess I kind of thought like, I mean, huskies do love the snow, and huskies, these don't even actually like look like huskies, but I don't even know how else to say this. I spent my whole life around dogs. You know dog behavior, you know dog tail wagging, you know dog, like the dogs right now are happy. The dogs' tails are all up, they're like, but it's, a dog cowered with the tail between its legs, like laying there and shivering, is like not a happy dog. That's just like obvious, and it's just like not cold today. Good dogs. Okay. I love when they roll like that. Thank you, doggy. Thank you. Good job. Good job. What a good job.
Everybody, great work today.
What a good job. Oh, you happy at home? Does that feel good? Did you get hot? Hi. Yeah.
Sticking around for the pets.
Yeah, he's off. He's off now. He's just leaning on me.
Oh, he's a leaner.
This is what I mean. I just walked Dennis here back. He's got his tail between his legs, and he's gonna sleep here. Aw, and he's just leaning on me. Okay. Bye, Dennis. Okay. I gotta get my shit together to go back and do this again. Okay. Okay. Let's put my goggles on. Okay. Good boy. Yeah, you're a good boy.
Turn right to stay on Jokikujo.
I already cried on camera. They already know.
Yeah, that's kind of your shtick.
Well, like, I don't know. Like, is this the worst thing in the world? No. Like I couldn't believe that they were laying there shivering all lunch. The one dog was picking all four paws up off the ground because like its paws were freezing, and then they were like huddling next to each other, shivering together, and like that's where I think where all this came from. I was already kind of like and then like it was lunch, and then it just got like really bad because I just saw more of the dogs.
Yeah. Well,
I don't think it was like this place.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like animal tourism in general, kind of. You brought up a good point of like what happens to them when they get older and they can't go.
maybe there's a huge adoption program here, and like everybody has an old.
Well, there's only 30 people that live in the surrounding 1,000 kilometers.
Okay.
Like I don't think maybe we'll share the name because I don't want to like bash one specific place
Because it was a nice place and the people were super nice. It wasn't like a weirdo.
Oh, I thought it was what? Really?
You don't think so?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
All the
of them
freaking chaos in the beginning, and then at lunch, the guy was like, the only comment he had about all the chaos was that I should have fallen with the sled and not let go.
He was just joking.
It was not dry humor.
He was just.
I
joking.
live with somebody who has dry humor. He like kept it going, and he's like, no, like you fall with the sled because like that was my mistake.
You should have fallen with the sled. You got to go down with the ship next time. I don't know if this is going after the credits roll on this episode or if we're going to plug it in
Well,
earlier.
you were just
but
about to tell me off camera, and honestly, just tell me on camera because I'll just use it or I won't use
use it or won't use it.
Can you even see it? Okay, great.
Yeah. After we got back from the Husky trip, I was just doing a little reading on the old internets, and it's very much like Huskies are not a traditional form of transportation up here. People weren't huskying around in Finland ever. It is for tourism, and it's like absolutely exploded in the past, I don't know, decade or something. I think it went from, a couple hundred Huskies to I think that it said there's like 10,000 up here, and it's a
What?
It's a major thing where like anybody who's coming up here statistically is going on a Husky
To
ride.
do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like they were interviewing different tour companies and stuff who put together packages, and they're like, yeah, every single person who goes to Lapland goes out on a Husky sled. So then it's like, again, I'm coming from the perspective like they're working animals and everything. There's no like set criteria for how they're taken care of necessarily up here, but
Like controlled by the government or something.
yeah, and then there was stuff like some places.
Wait, what is this article?
There's just different. There was like the
You looked
Lapland.
at a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, there was this huge write up on like CNN, and then there was a huge thing on like the Lapland Tourism Board for like more information about it, or even like how to vet where you go yourself. So things to look for, like will the tour company let you go back and see where the dogs are kept? So if you can't see where they're being kept, like
Jesus.
that's a big thing, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Just little stuff like that. So it's definitely worth reading and looking into, and then seeing the reviews and who's been established a long time. The place we went with today had terrific reviews.
My reaction, I think, was about Husky tourism in general. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because I was like, these dogs are doing this, like, just for me, and, like, this one has a bloody paw. That's what was hitting me so hard.
Sure. We are tourists, and absolutely we are fueling the Husky industry up here. And if you're a tourist, like, they're not just chilling up here. There's not Baltos running a medicine to remote villages.
But I feel like I have responsibility now. Like, I know I'm going to put this on the internet. We don't have like this massive following or anything, but I know people are going to watch this. I know people who want to come up here are going to watch it. That's how I felt there. I imagine if you are vegetarian, you're not going to like this trip. I wouldn't like necessarily recommend it. And sometimes you just like miss that. You're like, oh my gosh, I'd love to go to Thailand and pet a cheetah. Oh God, pet a cheetah, how fun! Like, your brain doesn't go to like, yes, well of course they're drugging the cheetahs so that they're not mauling you when you're petting them.
Sure.
It's not like the first thing that you think of. There's a couple things that I think people are more educated on, like riding an elephant now, but this is kind of one of those like weird lines because people know dogs and they're like, dogs love running.
Yeah.
And that's why I went in positive, but I'm just leaving unsure. I think what we didn't realize before we started filming is the question of this episode, like, what is ethical?
The thing specific to the Husky trip, like, we were so excited to go do that. I enjoyed that activity a lot less because just seeing the animals uncomfortable or hurt, just in any capacity. And yes, we have a soft spot for dogs, obviously, but that was something that kept me from enjoying it, and I probably won't do that again, no matter where we went.
With the fear of maybe the dogs are always uncomfortable, and this just wasn't like a bad experience. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. It would be tough to convince me, like, just otherwise, because you're putting inexperienced people like ourselves in charge of a team of sled dogs, and we're just not going to be able to watch out for them as well.
That's exactly what I thought, because you and I were stopping and helping each other get untangled. You're like, I had to stop to make sure the dogs would jump. Like, I was just picturing hundreds of people throughout the month that there was no guide, and they were just, the dogs were just like trying to do what they're supposed to do. Sure,
or people without the common sense to be like, hey, this dog is hung up in this wire or this harness.
And call for help.
Yeah, this dog's got its leg caught. Because we had to stop the sleds a few times and like shout at the dogs. And that worked, like just yelling at them, stopping it. And they'd like, the dogs figured it out. They'd do it. A lot of people wouldn't have the common sense to hit the brakes. They'd be like, I'm not paying attention to what's going on.
Or and the other side of the tour operator being like, oh, well, they booked the two heavy people, and the conditions were so heavy today for the dogs, but they booked this, so we're going to ride them anyways. Yeah. Okay, well, thank you for wrapping this up in this way, because I think people would want to hear our last takeaway, and it's that we wouldn't do this again.
Yeah, that's it.
And like, we're not going around to like 18 different husky things being like, here's the scale, this is what's really
Right.
good and here's what's really bad. Like, we only have our one thing, and we're not going to do it again and be like, oh yeah, that one was bad and this one's fine, or oh no, this one's way worse. Like, we're just not supporting it anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
End scene.
I at least feel better now. I feel like I'm not like emotional. I feel better that just like, this is just what happens. You just have to like try, and then you learn, and then all we can do is share what we learned.
Hot Tub Hot Takes with Alice and Rachel.
Lots of hot takes. Okay. I'm so thankful we have Rhett to edit our videos, because this really was not an experience I wanted to relive. It was hard enough watching through the drafts and then reliving to record this voiceover. At the time, I really didn't know if I was jet lagged and over emotional, but I can say now that only with time, I can't actually believe I reacted that well. I'm very upset by this day. They were thin, shivering 40-pound dogs who were flinching at human interaction. I feel so sick we were a part of the problem by being paying customers. But all I can think is that I hope this video can help educate anyone who wants to have a dog sledding experience. Other people we met up with at lunch were having a great trip. We also met other repeat customers. I'll just say, as dog owners, you know when a dog is happy and healthy, and you also know when it's not.